And a very, very good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are, all in the world. Ladies and gents, we're, of course, the H-Cast, your favorite podcast, coming to you with episode 62. Ladies and gents, hope you're well. Hope you're having a great day. It is balmy here in the UK at 32 degrees. What's that, like 89 degrees Fahrenheit?
You guys can have it. We had it all week last week. It's finally cooled off a little.
Oh, it's quite warm here. It's quite warm. Got some glistening brow, forehead going on. It's quite warm. Anyway, ladies and gents, hope you're having a fantastic day, morning, night, wherever you are in the world. We've got a fantastic show for you today. The rotten core of Hollywood, because that's right, Rotten Tomatoes has been exposed. Editors at Rotten Tomatoes changing stuff, adjusting stuff, PR companies paying reviewers to give good reviews. It's all exposed. We knew this anyway. We've been saying it for ages, and everyone just goes, "Yeah, you just review bomb and blah, blah, blah." Shut up. All right, shut up. You know what you're talking about. You pleb. All right. So we know it. It's now revealed. It's there. Everyone can see it. What else is going on? Well, Warner Brothers uses the strike to axe a bunch of first look deals. So that's hilarious. We've got a whole host of stuff going on with Disney, Bob Chapek, Bob Iger. We've got Sam Raimi in the running for Avengers. That's not going to save it. And a whole host of other bits and pieces. It's a full-on show. But first things first, well, I say first things first, one of the topics we will get to, not just yet, will also be Ahsoka Episode 4. Is that you coughing there, Nick?
Thought my mic was muted. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
It's all good.
It was Nick this time. Wasn't me.
Try not to die on the show.
Nick is a little bit sick, ladies and gents. But that takes me nicely off.
Ahsoka will do that to you.
Who we have here joining us today? We've got Culture Casino, Tom Connors, and Nick from Nick Talks Entertainment and the
Fat Kids here again.
Network. How are we all doing, guys? Are we all good?
Other than being sick, not bad.
Did you get the thing?
No. It's just a sinus infection /
That's what I thought, and then I found out I had the thing.
You had the thing with the thing?
The vid. Yeah, the vid. Dear, oh dear. But we're all good, yes? We're all good. We're all happy, having a great day wherever you are in your respective worlds. Fantastico. So, bit of a preamble, like I always do here, ladies and gents. Got to be done, got to be said. We are always demonetized here. So this podcast is funded by you guys, for you guys. Super chats are the way to do it. Ladies and gents, chuck in a buck, ask a question. You have a captive audience here taking all of your comments and questions. So do it. Chuck in some money. It helps support us, helps keep the lights on, and it supports your favorite podcast. But it also gets you included in the conversation. So a fair few of them become their own videos on the second channel, which you can find linked down below. Please do hit subscribe on there if you're not already. Mistakes Reviews live archives, as well as everyone else's channel, will be linked down below. And just general people that sort of drift into these streams here and there. All of their channels should be linked down below. So please do check them out. And we actually have a first super chat of the evening. Well, we've got one actually from Mr. Tickle Trunks, which is a $3 Canadian super sticker. Thank you so much, my dude. I do appreciate that. An accent seller sent in 50 Norwegian kroner and says, Mr. H and panel, do you use custom Photoshop template for your thumbnails for consistency? And where do you get your images? Are they from press kits, etc.? So I can answer that straight away from my perspective. I used to use Photoshop. I actually don't use Photoshop anymore. I use a free web browser editor, but my thumbnails are super basic. I try not to spend a great deal of time on them, as you probably can tell. I try to go for more sort of eye-catching commentary across the thumbnail. I probably should spend a bit more time on them. I'm not going to lie. I think that is part of an issue with my channel at the moment. But I just don't understand Photoshop. I just don't get it. All right, I'm old.
Same.
Where do I get my images from? Google.
Or everybody gets their images.
Yeah, I mean, there are some images available via PR companies and stuff, but they few and far between do they send anything worth using. You just get most stuff off Google, to be honest. What about you guys? Photoshop
Pretty much the same kind of situation. Press kits, that means they'd actually have to treat us like the press.
You know?
I've just been invited to Expendables next week.
Well,
Oh, really?
awesome. You should
Nice.
go. But yeah,
No,
you're a
the
big
week
deal in
after
the
next.
UK. That's because the UK is the size of a thumbnail, you know, like, I mean, I can't help that, but
Well, that's where he gets his thumbnails then.
oh no, like yeah, but no, actually Andre has some guy do him fancy like, so I'm sure he uses like Photoshop or something now, but we used to just use whatever we had at our disposal, whether it was GIMP or some Photoshop knockoff or a web-based thing. I've used Canva quite a bit. Yeah, well, you just kind of make do with what you got, and you just keep experimenting till you find stuff that works. Sometimes you got to change the game here and once in a while. Like, you know, Andre had a great thing going, and then just kind of grew stale, and so we had to jazz it up a little bit. So yeah,
I need to get Fat Steven Seagal onto it. He makes great thumbnails for Valiant Renegade, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And WDW Pro as well, I think.
Yep, that's Fat Steven.
Yep.
Get him on it. Right. Well, what about you?
I don't do thumbnails. Coach does all the thumbnails. He uses Photoshop, and he's learned it and knows the ins and outs and all that, and has tried to explain it to me in the past, and it's just like whoo, right over my head.
Yeah.
It's just too much. There's just too much going on there. It's not a simple, easy task. I mean, I guess if you just did it all the time, it would become easier over time, but he just does them all. I did a couple using there was a phone app called God, what was it? It was like a Adobe Scan or Adobe Yes Free or something like that, where I could put some images and some text in there, or I'll use Paint. But anytime I do a thumbnail, it looks like shit. So
like hell, I've even used the editing program sometimes, especially if I want something that's right out of my video.
Yeah,
I'll just slap the shit right over top of that.
Yeah.
What about you, Culture?
I use a variety.
Instead of getting his money worth there.
Yeah, right. I use a variety of different editing programs. Canva's probably the best for a new fledgling creator. It is a little bit expensive, but it's completely worth it because it does amazing background removal, all kinds of stuff, and it helps you create a pretty multi-layered type of thing. You can even do short videos and stuff on Canva. Canva's a multi-purpose platform, so that's probably what I would consider using.
Nice. Paul Fisher sent in a $1.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. And a very cute doggo you've got there in your avatar. So always got to point out the doggos. Love it. Thank you so much, my dude. So that takes us nicely off to our first topic of the day. That's right. We're reviewing Ahsoka episode 4. Let's bring the energy. Nick, go on, give me your thoughts, buddy.
Oh Lord! All right. So for those of you that have that are subbed to our channel over there, you guys have seen we've been taking a beating, absolute beating over there for our Ahsoka episode 4 review, down over 100 subs. And I'm not going to get into all the stuff about the episode because there's a few positives in there, and then there's some negatives, and then there's just the track record of Disney Star Wars. So first thing, let's just get right to it. The elephant in the room, the big reveal at the end. Yay, Anakin is back. All right. We have went through 2 weeks of fan speculation on who Marok is, who ended up turning out to just be a fart in the wind. And then we had the return of Luke Skywalker, which, including myself, was super hyped for. Absolutely loved that moment. What?
Anakin.
No. I'm talking about Book of Boba Fett season 2 when they brought Luke back. So they gave us that. What they do with it? Nothing. He showed up in Book of Boba Fett, set Grogu packing, and we ain't seen him since. Then we got the return of Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor in the highly acclaimed Kenobi show. How'd that turn out? Dog shit. And now we get the return of Anakin in this with CGI face. And sorry guys, I'm just not on the hype train for this. Could they end up doing something with it and it be good? Yeah, they could. But given their track record, I'm just not on the hype train for this. And then ever since this dropped, I've been seeing left and right all over social media, all over YouTube. Dave Filoni has saved Star Wars. Star Wars is saved. It's back just because of a Anakin reveal. That saves Star Wars. Like I don't know what people are thinking out there. I did absolutely hate this episode. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was just, mid. There were some cool things in it. There were some things that I thought were dumb. I still don't understand why Ahsoka felt the need for this, when there's all these high stakes involved with the return of Thrawn, how she feels the need that she needs Sabine's help. When she obviously knows Luke Skywalker, who took Vader down and took the Emperor down, took the whole Empire down, Han, Luke, Leia, all them who helped contribute and take the whole Empire down. I don't know why she's not trying to bring any of them in here. You know why? Because Dave Filoni wants to do his own thing. He wants his own characters to be elevated. He doesn't want to bring in anybody else. He's going to end up ruining this Anakin thing. Mark my words. Everybody who's hyped and excited, this thing's going to end up getting ruined. They're going to end up doing something stupid. We don't even know for sure if that's even really Anakin or if this event that we're seeing is even really taking place. So I'm just saying, pump the brakes a little bit. The savior of Star Wars is not here with Filoni in the Ahsoka show, because once this is all said and done with, and let's just pretend this is the greatest show ever of all time, what do we have to look forward to after this? Skeleton Crew, who cares? Acolyte, who cares? Lando, who cares? Mando season 4. Did you just watch season 3? Who cares? There's literally nothing. Oh, and don't forget about the Rey movie that they're doing. Let's get excited for that. There literally has got to be a consistent track record for Disney Star Wars to where they're consistently hitting bangers out of the park. And it's good writing, good storytelling, not messaging and this feminist. Well, I guarantee you Dave Filoni wasn't writing the show, and when he gets to this episode, looks down and is like, oh, wait, it's all female characters here. Crap. Yeah, I didn't even realize. No, this is by design because he's KK 2.0. Fuck Dave Filoni. He is a fraud. And this show is going to not be the savior of Star Wars. So that's my thoughts on the episode and the so far.
You're wrong. KK Anon is getting erased.
Yeah, the sequel trilogy's not getting erased. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love to see the erasure of the sequel trilogy, all that. But I'm just not buying into it. And the thing is, even if they do something to elaborate that they're doing that, they could always reverse back and be like, oh, no, that really didn't happen, or that they'll make something up, and be like, oh, yeah, it still exists. It's not going anywhere, So I'm just saying, don't jump on the hype train quite yet, guys.
Well, my thoughts mirror yours somewhat, but I will try to go a little bit more point by point, I guess. So, isn't General Syndulla the worst mother in the galaxy?
Oh my God!
She takes her son out to a threat, right? She sees that this massive ship is there. Is a general, so she would know from just a rudimentary scan that it's got turbo lasers. She is the one that recognizes that it's about to go into hyperspace, and she doesn't move her ship out the way. It is only by dumb luck she is not dead and her son isn't atomized.
Yep.
Fucking dumb bitch.
Yep.
Worst
Worst
mother
mother
galaxy.
of the year award goes
Legit
to her.
worst. Legitimately the worst. The worst.
Let's cut
Mother.
across their access. Oh, they're powering up. Let's just stay right here.
Oh, we're
What
just
is happening?
trundle on here.
They
Maybe
didn't
they'll
even
go
shoot.
around us.
They never even shot. One shot to even try to disable it, take it down. Nothing. They just flew right towards it. I'm like, these people are morons. Who's writing this show?
Well, Dave Filoni, evidently. I didn't like the fact that they took a story, they took a leaf out of Ryan Johnson's book here. They absolutely were setting Marok up to be someone. They absolutely were.
Yeah,
100% they were. And then they've just got subvert. Why? Why subvert that? Why are you subverting those expectations?
he's no
Like, now, I'm not someone that's saying he needs to be anyone.
Yeah.
But then also don't set him up to be someone, because you did. Just don't set him up to be anyone. There's no point. And he literally just becomes a fart.
Yeah.
A night sister fart. All right then, cool. Oh, Dathomir or whatever it is. Fart. Cool. Whatever. Pathetic. Ridiculous. I still don't understand who made this map that tells all. I don't understand that. Ridiculous.
Oh, and then Ahsoka grabbing it. Why don't she just use the Force and just like fling it? Like, why are you grabbing it if it's hot? Well, you have the Force. Like, what's happening here?
Just drops it on the floor. What are you doing? Yeah. Use the Force to crush it.
Something.
Use the Force to break it
into your hand.
a billion pieces. I like Ray Stevenson's role was good.
Mm-hmm.
That was about it. That was the highlight.
He's been the best part of the show so far for me.
I like the fact he was like, look, I won't betray, I won't betray you like your master did. So no, I'll keep my word. She won't hurt you. I liked that, but that's it. I like that, what he's sort of alluding to as well, to create one must destroy, all that sort of stuff. I thought was quite good. But it's just not very good writing. I mean, as you say, right? Why haven't they brought in Luke Skywalker? Why? I mean, he's pretty influential, you'd think. His name etched into the universe, the galaxy as being the savior. Why didn't you, Ahsoka? Why didn't you bring him in? It's not like you can say, well, she doesn't know where he is. No, you're well aware. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just not very good. And everyone is going, yeah, this is the best Star Wars ever. There's so many inconsistencies in the writing. It's absolute trash. Absolute trash. The fight with Marok as well. Like the fight with Marok, he's using the twin-bladed lightsaber, and she's holding on one side. Why didn't he just flip it and then stab her with the other side? That's the whole point of having a twin-bladed lightsaber. You dipshit.
Because he's just smoke, and he can't think for himself.
He's got shit for brains, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fart.
You just don't understand. Dave Filoni is the savior. Hail Dave Filoni.
That was a really long sound effect.
It was very obnoxious.
It's just not. It's and then as you say, you've got the tease at the end of Anakin. I'm just like, I failed to care.
Yeah, also, I felt nothing.
Well, also, were you almost shocked that Ahsoka couldn't last the whole episode without folding her arms again? Why is this woman always folding her arms?
I think it happened when like the first 2 or 3 minutes of the episode. Once you got past the 2 or 3 minutes of the recap from last week.
Why is she always folding her arms? Why?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, according to body language experts, that's a body language sign for fuck you.
Well, it's also one for very much insecurity. I mean, she's very insecure in doing this role, and she's trying to be stoic. And there's not a lot of stoic things that are out there, that ladies can do that are like make it really feel like they are.
What about Geode?
Oh, God.
Thank God he hasn't shown up.
Also, just to add as well.
I didn't mean to interrupt your culture. That was
that's fine, dude. Okay.
Just to add a little bit real quick, where's this Sabine Wren Force thing going? They've wasted 2 episodes on that, and then it went nowhere in episode 3. What are they actually doing?
Nobody knows.
Like that is bad writing straight away.
Yeah, and the thing is, I liked her in the episode just being herself, being a badass Mandalorian. You know, you know, where she's got her weapons and all of her gear and stuff. I'd prefer her just to stay like that. Not everybody has to be a Jedi, or
Well, she's not, so problem solved there. So.
Yeah.
But I bet you she'll still turn out to be one.
Of course, but you know,
fucking ridiculous. Honestly, it really is. Anyway, there's my thoughts. Culture, did you watch it or not?
Of course I did. I was told by the boss of this podcast that I needed to watch the show, and so I did. And so that would be you. Anyway, I watched it, and I have to tell you, I don't know what you guys are complaining about. This was an absolute gas. I mean, I was blown away, almost from from about the halfway point. The incredibly slow pace of the lightsaber duel, the just the simple actions of people.
How do we end this? Oh, he's back.
I think we're fine. Just standing still, like, and just looking at each other, because that's awesome. And holding your lightsaber backwards, so you can definitely injure yourself most of the time. That's fantastic. But no, I mean, and look, the one of the favorite villains here. Like I said, man, absolute gas, fart in the wind, fantastic. This show is definitely a comedy, and you guys just don't get it. You just don't get how funny the show is. So.
Okay. Sounds like a lot of sarcasm right there, chap. Not gonna lie.
A little bit. Yeah. No, it was fucking shitty. It was terrible. I mean, look, not a lot inspires me to curse. This show absolutely does. And look, there's no saving it. I know a lot of people are really going after Echo Base and their opinions and everything else. And that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. It's just, the Echo Base guys are actually, somewhat of a, fans, right? Mm-hmm. And they've been a long-term fans, like old school fans.
Yeah, and since we're like 3.
Yeah, and I think that's where you got that little bit of difference there that I don't think people quite grasp, is that a lot of us are older, and we were actually Star Wars fans before a lot of people were born. And if you like Disney Star Wars, I don't have any interest in it.
I forget there's really young people out there now. Makes me.
That's about all there is. I mean, I can't imagine. I honestly can't imagine people of my age group, liking the show for the show. I can't imagine it. It's difficult for me to comprehend that there's like a group of people that may enjoy it. It may not be a big group, but once again, I mean, I'm just waiting for the scissoring episode because we know it's coming.
Right,
there's a lot of sexual tension between Sabine and Ahsoka there for sure.
What? I didn't say anything. Look, I'm waiting for the quilting bee. Okay.
All right. So, yay or nay on Ahsoka? Is it going to get better?
No.
This next week is supposed to be the biggest episode in Disney Star Wars episodic episodes of all time. It's so big that they're actually giving a limited release in theaters.
I'm glad you mentioned
next
that.
episode.
I was about to say,
so we'll find out what direction this goes, how this turns out. Badly.
It's going to turn out badly.
Yeah. I
can't wait for Samba TV to release their viewing figures.
Nielsen comes out in what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, we're a few weeks down the line for it now, then, won't we?
Yeah.
They do that. That'd be interesting. That'd be very, very interesting. Well, there you go, ladies and gents. Ahsoka episode 4, as reviewed by your favorite podcast. Nick, I know you're dying, chap. Do you need to leave now?
You will all see next week when the sequel trilogy is erased.
Yeah, not happening. I hope it does happen. I would love to be proven wrong on
I
that.
would too. I would honestly, in all seriousness. But
I would love to see them be like, F the sequel trilogy. we're doing a whole new thing. I would actually support that move if they did it. I don't buy that they're gonna do it at all. I'll stick around while you read super chats since we just talked this topic, and then I'll make my exit.
All right, well, let's get some super chats then, guys. So again, we do get demonetized here all the time. So if you like the show, you want to support it, please do. Where you're literally demonetized right now. That's why the lights flash in my face. I just went to look.
Yeah,
anyway, it was demonetized. Yay. Probably. So please do chuck in a buck via the super chats or super stickers, guys. You got a captive audience here. We will take your comments and questions. So Mr. Tickle Trunks for $5 Canadian says, fund this entertainment news Chad and check out all their channels too, or you're not cool. At least follow Tom around. He has the best snacks.
Yeah, that's true.
Tom does have the best snacks.
I like snacks.
There you go. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Mr. Trunks, my dude. Wartooth88 for $2 says, is Robin going to bang Catwoman on the Batmobile too? You're saying two as if Batman did that. I know that was a rumor about that going around.
Allegedly.
The funny part is that you don't believe it because somebody said it didn't happen.
What?
We're learning more and more of the crazy shit in Hollywood every day now that the strike's on. We've got all these articles coming out of all the nutty shit. I believe that it totally did happen.
I'm with Tom on this.
She's pregnant because
she was maybe. I don't know about that, but she sure did get divorced awfully quick.
There's a removal procedure that some people use to solve those issues.
Oh my god! Right, Mr. Tickle Trunks for $2 Canadian says if Mr. H doesn't make dollar, his producer barks at him.
That's true.
Did you see like? Look, it's we're starting to learn what Hollywood's really like. I know you didn't get to read all the CNBC article, but you got
I had people working on that.
And then like Jimmy Fallon's now under attack. This is amazing. I love this.
Yeah,
like,
but
they're eating their own.
The reason why the Batman situation I knew was bogus because I had people working on it. So that's why when people were like, "Oh, they're about to cancel again," blah blah blah, I was like, "No, they're literally shooting next week. I know that for a fact." And then lo and behold, they were shooting the following week. So that's kind of why I can debunk that. Anyway,
my point is why would they don't want it out there? Of course, they're going to lie about it.
No, the person that was working on it was a close friend of mine.
They still don't want it out there. That was my point. Now you might start hearing different stories about it, but yeah.
Maybe. Gypsy Danny Mixboy for $4.99 says One Piece versus Ahsoka shows the difference between fan service versus member berries. This is a good comparison.
Yeah.
One has heart, love, and talent, and the other is a soulless, cold reference.
100% agree.
Massively. Interesting thing about Ahsoka is it actually follows the exact same beat points of the sequel trilogy. Gotta go here to find a map. Got to go here to find this person. Got to go here to do this. It's exactly the same thing.
Maybe they should just ask R2 for the rest.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. Accent seller for 20 Norwegian kroner says another pissney Star Wars fan theory going up in Snoke way.
Oh, that's funny.
That is funny. And there were some rumors as well because of Balin's ring. Did you see these rumors, Nick? Balin's ring.
Yeah.
It's the same obsidian as Snoke's ring or something like that. People are like, well, maybe. So.
I mean, honestly, if I actually thought Favreau had some semblance of control anymore over any of this, I would actually think that it's a plausibility.
Yeah, but I think he's pretty much.
But I have tried warning people for years about Filoni and his baloney, and not to trust him, and that he is. First of all, if he was so great at Star Wars to begin with, then why didn't he get the job instead of Kathleen Kennedy to run Lucasfilm or at least get a position as creative? He didn't become creative director until Kathy was the president.
Yeah.
And now he's basically he is in control of all this stuff. And what he's doing is just making it in his image now, like Nick was saying, basically.
And he totally signed on for all her crap. He was 100% on board. And if you go watch his little feminist movement speech, he says it. And now this show has his actions backing up what he was saying.
Oh my God! There's another female lead in Star Wars.
I think we need more female leads in Star Wars.
Right.
That's really what he sounds like.
Yeah. More
No, I
diversity,
agree. I
more
don't,
women.
I'm not arguing with you. Magitech Max, preach, Nick. We've got a few of them, actually. Another one. Bourbon is on me, Nick, for your perfect rant.
Hell, Magitech Max.
One bourbon, one scotch, and one beer.
I'm actually
bourbon.
drinking bourbon and with lemon and honey in it. I started
very
that
nice.
last night.
That'll
That's
make you feel
ready.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Some
will
daddy's
be
cough syrup there.
Yep.
Black Saber for $5 says, I'm just here for Balin and Thrawn. It's not must-watch Star Wars for me. Conviction-less protagonists. Huang is the only good guy I like.
Pootie
That's the
Tang.
droid, isn't
I
it?
call him Pootie Tang. Pootie Tang
He's saying
droid.
the robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really
yeah.
taking Japanese influence to another level as well, aren't they? Ahsoka's
yeah, for
Ahsoka's
sure.
lightsaber hilts. They're literally Japanese blade hilts.
Yeah.
And they're poorly done.
Yeah, not good. It's just not very good.
Yeah.
Show. Sabine's Cheshire Cat says, I bet Ahsoka was originally envisioned as a Rebels movie, then broken up into 8 parts. They can't have more than 15 pages of script per episode.
Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty accurate, to be honest.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, even in this last episode, there was literally like 45 seconds of Ahsoka and Balin staring at each other, walking, looking, and just staring. 45 seconds. Go time it. It's 45 seconds. And even the dialogue that they give is slow. At the beginning, when Ahsoka and Sabine are talking, it's like, should I worry? No.
I hear.
I don't know. Should you worry? I don't know. Should I worry?
They were talking about it last night. I haven't seen it yet, but all of us are kind of basically, editors of sorts if we're in this business, so we kind of understand how it works. And just the basics, right? Like, and they were talking about how poorly edited it was, how you would have somebody say a line, and like you just said, Nick, beat, then line reaction, then beat,
drag it out,
then another line, and then just off and off and on. Like, it was just like, how do you let that just hang like that if that's the truth? Because that is horrible. I mean, the thing is, with a movie and a television show, you need to consider your time as real estate, and real estate is expensive, and it is not, and nobody's making any more of it. So you need to, utilize it as best you can. If you've got 15 minutes, you have no excuse. That 15 minutes should be just chock full of story and action and whatever else to get you through it. Because at the end of the day, there's 8 episodes of this, Nick?
Yeah. 8 episodes.
There's no excuse. There should be no drag in this whatsoever. That's what bothers me. We used to sit there and get 22, 24 episodes a year of a show.
Yeah.
And you can tell the bottle episodes, right? Like, but at the same time, it's like even they would put more effort into those most of the time.
Yeah. It's just a joke. Faris Nagatome for $5 says, need that Dave Filoni as the savior, followed by orchestral string on a soundboard. Cheers, guys.
He kind of is. I mean, if it weren't for Dave Filoni, you wouldn't have Ahsoka right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, good. Love it.
A character that George Lucas said died in Order 66.
No, mate. She got saved. Remember the world between worlds? Then MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Dude, I can't believe they're doing the world between worlds bologna sausage again.
No, well, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Magitech Mags for $5 says the Disney stock price begs to differ that anything is saved.
Well, come on, Mags. That's just negative.
Yeah. It's honest. There's a difference between negative and honest.
Oh, come on, man. You guys are all
Space Dave 2000 says Matrix, Aliens, Star Wars, Star Trek. All crap now. What is with this generation destroying all the great IPs? Nick and culture are spot on.
Oh, it's so sad, man.
Wasn't it that 3 generations rule, basically?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing. By the time you get to the 3rd generation of a business, especially a personal business that your parents handed down from, and they got handed it from your grandparents, you're ready to just basically part it out and live a good life on somebody else's time. So you sacrifice the creation. I agree with Tom.
Ridiculous.
And you have no ambition, drive, or any understanding of what made it to begin with. Exactly.
Tom's got it.
You're not connected to it in any way at that point, are you?
It's basically the Jeff Goldblum speech from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, massively. Nick, do you want to head out now? Because we're going to move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce, guys. I feel like absolute crap. FYI, no chill stream tonight. I canceled chill stream for tonight.
No,
Chill stream canceled due to COVID.
Yeah.
Find out tonight.
I don't think I got the coop. But
you might want to do a test just in case, because that's what happened to me, dude. Seriously, like I thought I had a sinus infection for like a week, and then I just took a test because I had one laying around the house. It was like, oh shit, I'm positive. Luckily, I'm not like somebody who goes out and does much, so it wasn't like a crisis or anything, or like I had to make a bunch of phone calls and be like, you might have COVID, but no, like, yeah, it's just one of those things, dude. You might want to just in case.
Yeah. Even if I do have it, I do the same stuff that I do when I have a sinus infection anyways.
Similar, but there is see, this is the thing I learned is there is one, and this is off the stuff we should talk about off air anyway. I'm sorry, Nate. But yeah, there's one version of the medicine that works better than the other though. So you might want to consult with a doctor. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I will. But have a good rest of the show, guys, and I will see you guys this next Tuesday.
Tuesday. All right,
word
mate.
to your bong.
You get better, buddy.
Mom.
Thanks, guys. See y'all.
Take care. Right, I held off on one of these super chats. It's from Jonas, and he says that CNBC
Jonas
is a thing of beauty. May its first child be a
masculine child.
And the reason why I held off on that is because that is our next topic.
Luca Brasi.
So do either of you want to give us a quick rundown of what this is?
Oh my gosh, this is something we don't have the time for to go through the whole thing. It's one of those things that this is the thing of beauty that we've been waiting for a long time. This confirms a lot of the rumors that we've all reported on. This confirms a lot of stuff that has been whispered about. This is one of the most scathing reviews Disney could have ever gotten at this point. And I've said it yesterday. I don't think this would have come out 90 days ago. If the strike wasn't happening right now, I don't think these birdies would be singing like this.
Yeah.
It's a mixed bag of things happening here, but what you learn basically is that Iger never left. He's an egotistical maniac. Chapek was more or less a pawn in this game that they were playing, and they're losing it. Culture. I'm sure you've gone through this article with a finer tooth comb than I have. Yeah.
No, you're killing it.
There's a hippo involved in this.
They send him to pet the hippo.
Shower.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because all of that was true. Like he never left his office. That's all true. That stuff that was, reported by all those of us in this, in this area. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, it like I said, it goes to show that you're oftentimes your YouTube folks are spot on.
And we have the first and here he is, the man himself. But perfect timing, because as I was going to say, we have the first public speaking, or Chapek for the first time speaking publicly about this thing. Yeah. And he said it's about 3 years of hell.
Absolutely amazing. Well, okay, so the only thing I have to say here is that statement came second or third hand.
It was from a conference he was at, yeah.
Right, and then the public statement. Bob Chapek is the only person of record on this article. Everyone else is. Michael Eisner declined to comment. Bob Iger declined to comment. Dana Walden declined to comment. It's funny, there's a statement about Bob Iger's wife that does not have right under it, Willow Bay refused to comment. The guy says he's got 20 to 25 executive sources in and around the Walt Disney Company here. I don't understand how this got made. So this shows an indictment of not just Bob Chapek, but also Bob Iger.
Sounds like they're done with Iger.
More so Iger, yeah. Like they try to paint Bob bad in this. Like in some of this, I can give. Here's the thing: what Bob was trying to do is what set everybody off, and that was give more power to us through basically putting the people who are in charge of distribution and merchandise, as far as who decides what is going to be made and go out there. The creatives didn't like that, so that's why they revolted against Chapek. So what he gets called out for here is when he was supposed to be at some meetings, I guess, he was actually petting a hippo to appear more likable. Because you got to remember, people were hating him so badly. So I think he was set up there, to be honest with you. But the rest of this is all on Iger, right? He even is so egotistical that he had a poster, as you see right there, of the Clint Eastwood film, The Iger Sanction, that was personalized with his own name instead on the poster.
Oh my God. Well, it's funny, yeah. According to CNBC, the Disney board suggested that Chapek take over Iger's expansive office, but Iger loved the office's private shower and wasn't interested in moving. The Bobs agreed that Iger could stay. Why? He's left, and Chapek moved into a smaller office on the same floor.
Oh,
what an arsehole.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. This article makes it crystal clear that Bob Chapek, sorry, I'm going to get the Bobs mixed up. Big Bob, as he referred to himself, and Little Bob, as he referred to Bob Chapek. Big Bob considered himself as chairman of the board to be the person in charge of the entire Walt Disney Company, and Little Bob, the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, to be his lieutenant, his underling, the guy who would go do the things that he told him to do. So Bob Iger never considered himself as leaving the Walt Disney Company.
Yeah, Iger stayed on, handling some CEO responsibilities. What on earth, man?
There's also an indication that when he said he was coming back to work on content, that he never ran that by Bob Chapek. Bob Chapek found out about it the same time as everyone else.
Oh my God.
The man did not relinquish power until he was kind of forced to by the board. I'm really glad to say most of the examination in this space by our compatriots that Susan Arnold was a person that seemed to support Bob Chapek and to give him the best that she could manage to support him. That all of those calls that we made seemed to be accurate, that she was a supporter of Bob Chapek and trying to give him everything he needed and trying to back off Bob Iger's ridiculous backstabbing. I mean, the tweet throwing Bob Chapek onto the bus, it didn't say Bob Chapek on it, but in the middle of all of this drama, Iger publicly tweets against Chapek policy and encourages employees of the Walt Disney Company to let their voices be known.
Because notice that was the one thing I didn't hear. You're right. Sorry, Jonas. I just got to say that was one thing that, at least from, because I haven't read the entire extensive CNBC thing yet, but they haven't said shit about the whole "don't say gay" thing that happened, right? So that's one thing that none of the people they talked to wanted to talk about at all. It seems like, because they're the ones who are to blame for that shit. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out.
And this summary here by that I'm losing faith in this particular entity, WDWNT. They're more of an opinion blog now. This is an okay summary, but you really want to go through the entire real.
There's a lot more than this. This is just a very brief overview. But the other thing that was funny was how they fired Chapek. I love that Christina Shacky and EVP of Investor Relations Alexia Esquadriano were known as Mean Girls, and he called people who had a negative view of Disney's future as Eeyores. See, that's the thing. That. He was dealing with a lot of Eeyores who were like freaking out on him. But correct me if I'm wrong, Culture. He had Disney at one point there was at their best they had been in a long time for stock.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he turned the table or turned the corner on stuff. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I don't know, Jonas. What is your perspective? Because I mean, you and I both kind of approach this a little bit more from the business side of this stuff.
Well, there's two things that are true. Bob Chapek was not prepared to be the CEO of the Walt Disney Company when they named him, and they had given him some indication he was going to be interviewed by every member of the board whenever that happened back in 2017. In 2020, at the end of Bob Iger's, I don't know, 4th or 5th renewal finally ended, they just said, by the way, you're the CEO now. So that vetting process did not happen. Now, that being said, Iger undercut him at almost every instance. And a lot of the things that Iger is doing right now that seem to be his attempts to right the ship, like preparing to either spin off or modify ESPN in a big way, or selling ABC. Those are all from the Bob Chapek playbook here. All of the things that he is doing to try to correct the company right now are Bob Chapek moves that would be made by a numbers person who is trying to make all the right calls to fix a problem. That being said, they still have not fixed the content problem, which if they never fix that problem, Disney's done.
It's insane. I can't believe. Oh, you know, Bob Iger really liked that office. So he wasn't going to move. I just can't. I literally, I can't get.
But he liked his second showers, Nate. You don't understand. Those are the days he lived for. That is a literal quote from the article.
Fuck. Oh my God. And then little Bob agreed to move into a smaller office on the same floor. So he is like imp, I guess.
Talk about
imp
like
CEO.
Just accepting wholeheartedly that you're being a patsy, that you're being set up as some sort of patsy. Like it feels like it's like, how can you not see that coming from a mile away?
Why would you even take it at that point? You learn that the CEO is going to stay there. Still,
even if you don't give a shit,
nah,
Nate,
I'm good.
That's a power test, is what that is. Yeah. That is a clear what he needed to do is say, no, Bob, you are done. This is my office now. Out. Whether he gave a shit or not, that's not the point. The moment he folded and said, yeah, no, that's no problem, Bob. That is the moment Bob Iger knew that this is the guy he needed because he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah. And then when they realized that he wasn't going to do exactly what they wanted, that's when everybody turned against him. That's what I was saying earlier, is that that's when you had the whole don't say gay thing. That's when you had the media and everybody going out against him going, oh my God, I can't believe he's taking away power from the creatives. And
Victoria Alonso sitting him down, telling him that you need
Victoria Alonso. Yes. Oh my fucking God. That was an amazing video, right? Like of her out in public, in a public thing. I can't remember what it was for, but it was some
the GLAAD Media Awards.
The GLAAD Media Awards. Yeah. Where she's talking shit on her own boss in front of cameras and a large audience.
What an absolute shit show Disney really
That would be like me coming out and saying some shit about Andre right now and not expecting him to fire me. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. What's been the stock reaction to this?
It's not been
I'm
good.
Waiting for it to get to 75 and then I'm buying. It's down to 79 right now. It went below 80 today.
Because we comment on the stock price so much, I'm squeamish to say where I think it's going to go or where I would buy. But I see 70 in their future here, the way things are going.
Oh shit, now. I'll buy for sure then.
Well, I'm setting their fair value at $72, so that's where I'm going to look at it. So
at 11:48 Eastern time here, they went down to $79.75. It's been
wow. I bet you the stock exchange right now is like Gremlins 2 when they're like sell.
It's back up to 80 now. I was in contact with Mexican Iron Man. He is out in California right now, and he's promised publicly that if the stock market closes below 80 for Disney, that he will actually go on property and request a meeting with Bob Iger on a live stream.
I am going to use somewhere at some point you use the clip from Gremlins 2 where you got the brain gremlin going, things are rather brutal here. In fact, we've told all our clients to put everything in canned food and shotguns.
Oh my God.
Wow. They are done. This is the worst thing. This article is one of the reasons why it dropped so hard today. I guarantee it.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Guarantee it.
Right, that on top of the Charter thing, which, by the way, the trades are not covering the CNBC article. The Hollywood trades have not touched any of this, despite you would think they would be very motivated to embarrass Bob Iger right now. So I'm a little confused as to why they're being so quiet. Meanwhile,
same reason Fandango are putting out fake polls promoting promoting the Marvels as the most wanted to watch movie
because there's still money coming from Bob. That's why, yeah.
Well, in that when you said Fandango, I was thinking Rotten Tomatoes. See that Rotten Tomatoes thing? It's
That's
what I'm saying. This is like the best time. Like I was been waiting for this, and I'm so happy about this. And I hope these strikes last even longer. Because guess what? The longer this lasts, the longer we're gonna get articles like this, and the Jimmy Fallon one, and the one about Rotten Tomatoes, and all this other stuff where people are just like, yeah, we have no incentive not to lie anymore. Like that's what I mean. I was giving you shit mostly, Nate, earlier about the whole Batman thing, but again, at the end of the day, it's getting to that point where people have no incentive to protect these fuckers anymore.
Yeah.
Especially when you got, I apologize for the language, but no, like, especially when you got Bob Iger saying we're going to starve them out.
Yeah. Well, a bunch of people have been evicted now from their homes. You see that?
Oh, that's horrible. And now I'm hearing rumors that the unity of the Writers Guild is, well, let's say it's in question in a way that it hasn't been before.
Yeah, lo and behold, the heads of the right. Yeah,
maybe they can get a payday loan to buy Hulu. You think? Bob Iger, that's last year's salary, basically. Maybe he can get a payday loan. You think?
I think you're talking about 20 million. Versus,
yeah,
I don't know. And now
there's a down payment at least.
I mean that $13 billion number that we were talking about before, that the minimum threshold is $9.3 billion. Yeah. I really want to know what that number is. And it sounds like the two of them, because the earliest that this transaction will go through is around October 30th, because at September 30th, either side can call the other and say, we're doing this. And they've got 30 days to complete the transaction.
And I think didn't Comcast president already insinuate that's what he's going to
do? He's got no reason not to. If he wants to fund all of his stuff, and
especially right now. Sorry to interrupt, Jonas, but you know what they're doing right now over at Comcast? They're dancing. Do you want to know why? Because they know that the more the stock goes down, the more stock they're either going to get in return, or the less it's going to be a value for them to use as some sort of leverage in this loan that they're going to have to get. Because let's be real here. Even though they said they had some money on that earnings call, we know damn well they got no money. If they had to produce the money right now to buy Hulu, they'd be effed. They'd be so screwed. And that's why I'm almost certain now they were desperately trying to get a deal with Amazon for ESPN so they could inject some cash, so they had that money on hand when they knew Comcast was going to come a-calling.
If they,
because otherwise, why would you want to make a deal with anybody else for ESPN? Because that's their only golden goose right now.
Right now, if they paid for it all in stock, which they're not going to do, and if it was the actual $23 billion, that would represent 16% of the Walt Disney Company right now, which is...
And I think that would cause even more issues then, wouldn't it? Because I don't think they can do that.
It would be three times the size of any shareholder of the Walt Disney Company right now. And we're talking the big ones.
They would have...
The ones that are pushing certain agendas, you mean?
Exactly.
They would have a lot to say about the board members.
Which would actually probably be the best thing for them right now, because as the article seems to indicate, and we've kind of had this idea for a long time, Bob Iger hand-selected every single member of that board.
God. Well, hence why there's no vote of no confidence against them.
Yeah,
even though the whole thing is tanking down.
Which is why they almost lost their minds when Nelson Peltz got really close to getting an observership.
Yeah.
They made it very clear to the SEC, even though nobody publicly stated the words observership, they put in writing, in suspicious writing on this SEC filing, under no circumstances were the words observership used when referring to a position that Nelson Peltz may or may not have requested. I mean, guys, methinks you do protest too much.
Doth protest too much. Wow, it's going to be interesting to see what happens from this, then, isn't it? This is interesting times ahead. This is the best writing we could have ever hoped for. I mean, this is better than what the writers are doing.
Oh yeah, this is
the best drama ever.
This is like a nuke.
For the best drama ever.
Even though Jonas is right that none of the big media is picking up on it yet, they will, because it's a slow news day. Eventually, they'll get around to it. Eventually, they'll get around to the rest of the stuff. It's like it's piling and piling and piling on Disney. And I know we've joked about this may even end with somebody getting hauled off in cuffs, but it's getting to that point now with some of this stuff that getting so bad for them that it may end in some form that way. We don't know. And what happens if things start getting real dicey and, we start to realize, oh yeah, they were setting up Chapek for something. And he's like, well, I ain't going to be your patsy now, finally, and he starts to speak up too, or somebody else does. Cause I'm sure they've made enough enemies at this point behind the scenes, especially with this article coming out like this, when you've got 20 some people that are cited in it.
25.
That means that the Magic Kingdom is not such a happy place right now.
I'll add two things that are that before the CNBC article, which is a thing of beauty, 12,000 words that I ate up every word of it. Disney hired a full-time crisis management team. They finally hired, and they got a big gun lawyer. I forget her name. Laura Pertland, is that her name?
I think you're right. Yep.
From PayPal to be general counsel just for the parks and resorts. She does not report to Josh D'Amaro, who's the head of parks and resorts for the company. She reports directly to the chief legal counsel of the company. So he overrules her and reports to Bob Iger's team as opposed to the parks guys' team. So something is going to happen there in Florida, and something will happen resisting CFTOD, the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District.
Going to lose.
Badly. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. It's actually a really good arrangement, and the economic arrangement there for CFTOD is actually good. And they're threatening them with a good time in a good economic environment. So okay, boo-hoo.
Dear, oh dear. Right, guys, we've got to shuffle on a little bit. Can't spend too long on this one. So we got 3 super chats to get to. So Accent Seller sent in 20 Norwegian kroner. Says demonetized because Jasper was licking his hazelnuts upstairs.
I mean, he is the boss, so
he is the boss.
Harold Hertz
sent in 2 Australian dollary-doos, 2.99 dollary-doos. Says, got a 2012 SV6 Thunder Holden Ute. Look it up. Sick. I have seen some Holden Utes before, actually. Holden Ute, let me have a look. Yeah, they're cool, man. I was in Australia at one point in my life, and I've seen them in the flesh. They're sick.
I think they're really amazing vehicles. But hey,
well, it's a bit like my Datsun. Well, it's not like my Datsun pickup truck, but it's a similar kind of concept. Small, small little turbo pickup truck. It's small. It's like a car, but it's a pickup truck. It's a Ute basically. It's a very similar kind of concept. So,
yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Tommy Reviews sent in $10. Says, how many total lawsuits do they have? They lost to the state of Florida, it seems. Investors are fighting back. And now this article, Disney is fighting for its life, it seems. Empire rises and falls. Well, just before someone answers how many lawsuits they've got, when is the next earnings call? Because holy shit, this is not going to be very good, is it, for them with questions and stuff? Surely,
September, October, probably November.
Yeah, they're gonna give it a full month of rest between the beginning of the next quarter and when they're gonna go. So, isn't it usually like November 8th, somewhere in there, November 7th, 8th, 10th, somewhere in there?
I think so, and they don't announce a specific date until they get a lot closer.
Yeah,
they're gonna be screwed on that call. How many lawsuits do they have? Because they got a lot.
Well, they got I think the federal lawsuit is probably going to be, the federal lawsuit with the state of Florida is probably going to get thrown out. They've got the state lawsuit with the state of Florida. They've got the Acolyte lawsuit. They've got at least 2 shareholder specific lawsuits about value. And, they're a global company. Somebody's probably always suing them somewhere.
They were sued by a VFX set worker on the set of Little Mermaid for 150 grand because she hurt herself. They've already admitted fault, but they're disputing the quantity of money to give her. Mm-hmm. So she's suing her as well.
They should just pay it. I mean, yeah, come on.
I know. And it's like a poor little like 78-year-old woman. And she's like, you fucked my hand up. Like, because the set that you built for me to build stuff on and paint stuff on fell through. Like, you wrecked, like, pay me. Like,
yeah.
What you did. And they're like, yeah, it is our fault, but we won't pay you that much.
That's the whole thing. The hot coffee lawsuit for McDonald's. It was the same thing that they said, yeah, we'll pay, and they paid some pittance. And that's
well, not only that,
reason.
they smeared that lady in the media too, trying to make it sound like a frivolous lawsuit.
Yeah.
When really that was more of a lot more serious than the media tried to paint it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to lose those McDonald's ad bucks. And that's the thing, you got to remember, that's one of the reasons why they play ball with people like Disney and all these other companies in the media, and why a lot of these haven't picked up yet on this Bob Iger story and some of this other stuff yet. They will eventually, but they're afraid of losing certain amenities, let's say.
Right, well, ladies and gents, let's shuffle on because we've got
That's right.
Ooh.
We've got some breaking news. The Crow reboot lands at Lionsgate.
Oh, wow.
Now, this has long been in the works. We've had Jason Momoa.
It's actually done filming.
For a while. Yeah, well, they're just looking for distribution.
Yep, no, this is just distribution. Yep.
So this is pretty major. I mean, this has been sat there for a while. So you've got Bill Skarsgård, FKA Twigs, Danny Huston star in the film. I actually really like Bill Skarsgård as the casting for this. Oh, way better than Jason Momoa.
I'm sure they're just happy that Alec Baldwin wasn't in the movie.
Oh.
Well, that's funny because it is literally that's the last time someone died on set outside of
that was the joke.
Him. Yeah, I know. But I like Bill Skarsgård in this role. I think he's a good fit. So, breaking news, you chuck this one over, Tom. The Crow is flying over to Lionsgate, which will handle domestic distribution for the long-awaited reboot. I don't know who. Did they say who's handling it worldwide?
No, but I'm not surprised because Lionsgate also picked up the Hellboy reboot too. So
they may handle it over here as well then, because I had direct contact with Lionsgate.
They're actually more of a Canadian company, but they're more of an international distributor too. So there's probably I wouldn't be surprised if it's worldwide.
Yeah. Don't quote me on it, but I'd imagine they'll do worldwide because they normally do for a lot of stuff. Rupert Sanders directed the feature with Bill Skarsgård starring as the titular character, which originally debuted in the late 80s, comics by James O'Barr. They centered on a man with his fiancée who are killed by a gang after the couple's car breaks down, but the man exacts vengeance after being resurrected as the Crow. The late Brandon Lee famously played the character in 94 and was killed during an on-set accident. In fact, the last time someone got killed, that is outside of the Alex Baldwin incident, that is literally the last time. So the interesting stuff about this one, so FKA Twigs, Danny Huston, Laura Byrne, Sami Bujila, Jordan Bolger star, Victoria Hadida, a whole bunch of people. Apparently, they might be, there's a little bit more involvement from the wife aspect in this one, apparently, allegedly, from the reports that were coming out before when I covered this. So they say the original film left an incredible mark on our culture that lives on, said the producers in a joint statement. We're thrilled to bring a new adaptation for today's audiences that respects the legacy. Rupert has masterfully brought new dimensions to create a contemporary universe, don't like that, for this timeless saga of undying love, and we can't wait to share this vision with film audiences, said Charlotte Coe, Lionsgate executive, VP Acquisitions and Co-Production, says, we appreciate what the Crow character and original movie mean to legions of fans and believe this new film will offer audiences an authentic and visceral reinterpretation of its emotional power and mythology. What do we think? Contemporary, I don't like that word, not going to lie. Create a contemporary universe for the timeless film. Don't like that word, always. I mean, we've modernized it, basically. It's an adaptation for modern audiences.
And that's what I love about the original film is they build a world all of its own to where I don't think it really aged that badly. I think it's kind of set in this kind of else world to where I think it's fine. I love the first film. It's one of those few films that I don't think should be messed with. In fact, the sequels showed us that, I think.
Yes.
There's very few films I wanted to walk out of because even if I don't like a movie, it's like, no, I paid my $7. I'm going to stay and watch it. And one of them was Crow 2. Like I felt seriously duped. Like I walked in and I'm like looking forward to it. I'm like, cool Crow 2. We got all this cool, there was all this buzz about it and the soundtrack and all that business. And you watch the movie and it's like literally cash grab. It's like it's the same movie, same everything, and you're just like, wow.
Well, that was part of the beauty of the first one. The soundtrack was a genuine character unto itself.
It was like everything was a character in that movie. That was the thing. Yeah.
Should this have been rebooted? Probably not. But what I think I join you in your concern about the when they start using the modernization.
Yeah.
Contemporary universe.
Contemporary, modern
They
audience.
should be talking about how they're trying to take it more back to like noir or something like that. That would get me more excited. Sorry, culture.
No, Tom, it's fine. I look, I'm with you. I mean, those are my own sentiments. I think we're all kind of worried. But of course, we're worried about everything that they're doing right now. Let's be honest.
Well, and I love The Crow because it's like a stepchild, or not a stepchild, but like a step cousin or whatever to the Ninja Turtles in a way, because it was the other one of the other more famous indie comics to come out of that same era. And it's beloved for that, reason. Like, people love the old black and white comic, the original, and it's very personal to the original creator. And I know he has very little control over any of that anymore. And, they've been sequelized to death, and it had a television show. So sure, same kind of thing with Highlander. Why not give it a shot? But I'm definitely going to have to going with bated breath on this one.
You know what gives me a little bit of hope? They do reference the romance aspect in there with the words undying love. And generally, romance is an anti-woke sentiment.
True.
So maybe, depending on how they play it up.
See, I was worried about the way they contextualized that statement, but that's okay. I hope you're right. I mean, the retelling of a timeless romance. Okay, you can definitely retell a timeless romance with no romance in it. I've seen that.
Yeah.
We're gonna see it in Snow White.
No, there's no romance there.
If they handle it correct, you're right. I agree with you, Jonas.
Isn't it
that is a big
romantic?
part of it. Yeah, promant.
I think, there's a lot going for it. It'll be a case of let's see that first teaser, let's see that first trailer, and then that will tell us what it is.
Yeah,
you'll know a lot from that, I think, because The Crow is not a movie where you can realistically, you're not going to be able to hide that much, because think of like a trailer for The Crow. Because of what the story is and things like that, if you're going to try and sell this to any crowd, you're going to find it quite difficult to hide any nonsense aspects in a trailer. Like, it's going to have to be the tiniest trailer, because there's not. Again, the main story is that undying love, the noir aspect, all these kind of things. You'd be able to spot the other things from a mile away. I think, it'd be quite difficult to hide that. So I think, just the first trailer alone would have would sort of tell you what this is all about, I think. The Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah,
they all seem to be very talented, that whole family.
Bill Skarsgård's good actor. Way better than people give him credit for. I reckon he'll be good. He'll be good in this. And the thing is, I could never buy Jason Momoa in this role, because he's too big. Way too big.
It's a better choice than him, that's for sure. But I don't know. There's just something about Brandon Lee. It's going to be tough.
Well, that's the thing. It's one of those movies that should never be adapted.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
and it's not right. It's not because you're never going to be able to do it justice or anything like that. It's because the first one is so iconic. You'll always have a comparison to it, so you might as well not even bother. It's like when they. I don't know.
It's like, what are you going to remake next? Enter the Dragon?
Yeah, are you going to remake The Matrix? There are some films which transcend, the initial inception of that film. Like, you can't do it, because the first is so iconic, it becomes redundant. It's a lose-lose situation all round, because it'll always get compared. It will never be like the first one. And people will go, but the first one's always there. Yes. Sure. But again, that's still the point, isn't it? It transcends it. You just can't do it, I think. So it's got an uphill battle regardless. I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing like with Wizard of Oz. They've tried to do sequels and prequels and everything else, but they've never even come close to trying to attempt to remake it on any real level of you have had like Muppet Wizard of Oz and The Wiz and other things like that. But I mean, an actual remake of the original Wizard of Oz, you would get shot if you propose that in Hollywood.
Does Disney own the first one right now? That was Miramax, right?
Warner, no, or Crow. Yes, Crow. Sorry, I was thinking about Wizard of Oz. My bad.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
And actually,
Cross
no,
the line
Disney
there.
doesn't anymore because they sold it to Lionsgate, who Lionsgate just sold their Miramax and Dimension rights to Paramount like 2 years ago. So now Paramount owns them.
So it's not even a brand deposit strategy like Disney.
No,
it used to be that Disney would get a bump in there, presumably.
No, actually, if you want to look at it this way, like it makes me wonder how bad this movie is because it looks like they were trying to get a distributor and Lionsgate's the only one who picked it up.
Lionsgate's not terrible, didn't they?
No, but they're low level. They're very. The only things they really have are the Expendables and John Wick.
True.
Don't they have Hunger Games?
Oh, and Hunger Games. Sorry, you're right, Jonas.
Okay, well, Hunger Games is about to flop fantastically.
Let's hope.
No, it's one of the most anticipated films of the year, mate. Fandango poll.
But Marvel's.
Don't lie.
Do you know what Fandango owns?
Or what is owned?
Voodoo?
What owns Fandango?
No, Fandango. They do own Voodoo, but they also are part of Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's a good segue.
Is this you got a segue culture? I'm so slow.
He's learning.
You didn't do a thing for it, did you?
I did.
Oh, you did. Sorry.
Play
oh my
it.
God, I'm ruining the segue.
Play the segue.
Fucking roll intro.
I effing knew it.
I'm so sorry. I absolutely ruined that, didn't I?
I never seen so many people in my life say, okay, there's two sets of people here. Yesterday, I've never seen so many people in my life say, well, we already knew this, or we already knew. And then I've also seen a buttload of cope from a bunch of Snyder fans who are trying to say, boom, this is why Man of Steel and BVS got bad ratings. It's like, first of all, y'all motherfuckers can't do math because it said 5 years.
Back to Snyder. Tom, come on.
5 years. So let's go with this. 5 years now. Rotten Tomatoes is a bunch of cheap bastards. I would have haggled for more.
Well, what's the rundown of this then? Come
on. So I don't know who actually busted them, but to no one's surprise, as we and many others have been reporting for a while, that we had suspected that a lot of these critics were being bought off, whether it's through access, other means. I mean, we insinuated it could have been cash, but in that case, they normally don't do cash because it's traceable or some sort of monetary compensation. But according to this report, it only cost you about $50.
About $350. About $350.
Okay. That's cheap. You're gonna have to pay me a lot more than $50 to lie about some of these crappy movies. I'm sorry.
I mean, for $1,000, you can completely change the Rotten Tomato score of a film.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's obvious, as we've been saying before. It's easily manipulated.
And yet,
Andre here to talk about this.
Perfect timing for this one.
And
Come
yet,
on, Andre.
Whoever made Gotti couldn't afford even that.
Andre, I think, deserves an I fucking knew it as well.
Yeah,
we've been saying it for ages.
Yeah. The only thing that surprises me here is just $50.
I know, that's what I said. We would be more expensive than that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Maybe like talking a couple of $1,000 at least for some of these.
I mean, I'm not gonna like say what our rate is for like commercial spots and stuff like that, but I'll tell you this: if someone came and say, "Hey, I want you to give Ahsoka a good review," there's $50 in it for you if you do.
Like, fuck off on your bike, son.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. That's a perfect reaction. Like, wow. I mean, first of all, I would be like, why the hell would you think that I would that I would have a price and I would actually lie about something that we cover for any price? And why the hell would you think that price would be $50?
And we've been accused of it before, so it's not like we haven't been.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it would cost a hell of a lot more than $50 to buy my opinion. If you can't tell, I'm one of the most opinionated motherfuckers in the world.
Apparently, a substantial amount more than what Bunker 15 would pay.
Ooh.
I mean, let's put it this way: I am not paying not playing any kind of mobile video game for $50. I'll tell you what, and it's going to take a hell of a lot more than that to make me shift a review.
Yeah, likewise. So I think what's so funny about this is obviously, this is one of those moments where we all just go, yeah, obviously, like we all know this, but it's so funny because this has even happened live whilst I've been making videos before. I think it may have even happened when
I caught it once too.
Yeah, it literally just changed. You're like, so what? They've just deleted a review, and then the scores change. You're like, oh, sorry, what?
In fact,
it's for everyone to see. It's crazy.
On my channel, I have a quick video that Six caught of the Andor review changing, and like 500 reviews just disappear.
Well, I think what's so funny about, I mean, it's so bad, but they're Bunker 15 or even like, so they implicate Rotten Tomatoes directly. So it's Bunker 15, which is a movie PR company, right? But then Bunker 15 implicate Rotten Tomatoes directly because they're like, yeah, well, we know editors at Rotten Tomatoes and they'll just change stuff anyway. Sorry, what? Sorry, what?
And that we knew too, because we've already seen that with what we've been jokingly referring to as the fortification, right?
Yeah. It's insane. It's absolutely
where they'll shut
insane.
down ratings, they'll swap ratings out, they'll, clearly, unless you really do the digging, and some of these ratings are just like just bots, and you can tell.
Right. So just to be clear here, Fandango, which owns Rotten Tomatoes, same ownership percentages on Rotten Tomatoes as Fandango, is 75% Comcast and 25% Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yep. And who runs it? Who runs it, Jonas?
I actually don't know off the top of my head. Who is it?
Disney
a former Disney dude.
But here's the funny thing, and this is where I think, because people are like, well, that's not Disney. Well, this tells you where the money's coming from.
Yeah. Well, they say that this is what I find so funny. So Covert
Comcast and Warner are happy to take that money. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Covert Media didn't return request for comment, but Bunker 15's founder did. The founder, right? What did Daniel Harlow have to say? Wow, you're really reaching there. Wait, because this is comical. He says everyone's reaching, and then he goes, we have thousands of writers in our distribution list. A small handful have set up a specific system where filmmakers can sponsor or pay to have them review. So what do you mean you're reaching, you spaz? You're literally telling me that you've got a list where people are actually taking money. What are you doing?
The second really most famous list I want to see right now.
You're really reaching there. What we do actually have it though. You're reaching.
Oh, I actually get to see this list, unlike the other one.
I bet there's somebody who is keeping track of all of these people with these horrible takes online about how you could only be paid to dislike Ahsoka. I bet there's somebody that's like watching the follower accounts on all of these people who will eat up anything.
Well, and it's not just that, Jonas. It's the people who normally would agree with a lot of this rhetoric, but if you start to see them leaning towards a negative review, it's so clearly they're easy to be bought off. Is what I'm seeing here too. That's the thing. That was kind of where I think Andre and I are coming from as a joke here, and I'm sure you're the same way, and I could probably speak for Culture and H on this too, in a sense that, to buy our dignity, it's going to cost a hell of a lot more than $50.
Yeah.
Right. But if somebody who is already prone to being into that kind of stuff, even if they didn't really care for Ahsoka, if somebody goes, well, I'll give you $50 if you give it a good review. Well, I could find some good, and we've seen these reviews, right? Andre points them out all the time, how they never actually say anything about the actual show or movie, but they'll find something to key in on that they like, and it's usually something about the diversity or what have you.
Of Rosario Dawson.
Our example of this was the Rings of Power. I mean, I did several videos just going through the reviews where I could tell totally, okay, this right here, this is actually a negative review that they have tried to put a positive spin on, because you read it, they're actually completely slaughtering it. And then they latch onto diversity, and they latch onto special effects. And now suddenly the whole thing is amazing, because now you can press, it's a positive review. But they have all of these hedges that they can go back to later, because on that one it was so clear to me that, oh, they don't mean this. They know that if they leave this thing here standing, they have no credibility. So I predicted right away in the very first, go back and check, in the very first video I did on the Rings of Power reviews, I made it clear. These are hedges. They're going to come back and make these negative, say that, oh, we said all along that this was bad. And lo and behold, what happened? Like the very worst of them was to Guardian. They are the ones that had the most positive review with the most hedges. And when the series was done, the moment it was done, they had an article that was literally titled, "Now that the Rings of Power is done, we all have to admit it was a stinker." And then, exactly as predicted, they went back to their very first review, said, "We said this, blah, 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 blah." And then they pretended that their review was negative all along.
Well, that was Entertainment Weekly, wasn't it? Entertainment Weekly were the ones that were doing the
maybe it was, yeah, okay, fine. Maybe it was
so bad. They
but
did
they were all
loads
like
of
that.
promotion. Yeah, no, I agree. Well, it's funny because they even point it out in this article, right? So they even say it, and it's exactly what I've been saying for a little while. What we've all been saying. So when a studio is prepping the release of a new title, it will screen the film for critics in advance. It's a film publicist's job to organize their screenings and invite the writers they think will respond most positively. Then that publicist will set the movie's review embargo in part so that its initial tomato meter score is as high as possible at the moment when it can have maximal benefits for word of mouth. So they're literally generating artificial hype for the film. In its initial release, they're like, we'll blacklist all the people that do negative reviews, actually, critique the film properly, and then we'll only invite people that are fans. So all these DC fan screenings, that's why they've been doing them for their shitty films, because they're like, right, a bunch of fans will go and get the tomato meter as high as possible.
Which is why I brought up the Snyder Bros cope with this shit, because they're like trying to spin this. It's like, no, you dumb shits. Warner owns them. They couldn't even spin it for themselves so well. Anyway, but anyway, this is all after the 5 years they're discussing is after all that shit anyway.
Yeah, this is just insane. I mean, they even note Ant-Man and the Wasp, how it was in its low 40s, but initially was in, sort of 60s, stuff like that, 79%, then slid to the 40s. Yeah, horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. We've all known this is going on. We've all been saying it's been going on. Just so funny. Again, I'm here for this. This is what the title of this video is about, among other things. The rotten core of Hollywood. Absolutely hilarious.
Let's admit one more thing here. Yeah, we've been saying this all along, and what have we gotten for it by a certain crowd?
Oh, you reviewed
conspiracy theorists and accused of being review bombers. Notice the gaslighting, and here's the funny thing:
you're a review bomber, but you're not paying for people.
Time. It was us, a few select YouTubers. We actually were more honest and more straightforward and more right in our coverage than anyone in the entirety of the entertainment media complex.
Yes.
But we're all guilty in this. They were all part of it. This is the corruption. It's rotten to the core.
This is why once there's a numerical method that can be predicted in order to game the system, every metric that you can game, and I'm talking about SEC filings as well. If there is a metric that you can use to your advantage and you know what those metrics are, you will start to aim towards those metrics with everything that you do. So if there is a consistent metric that you are judged by, whether it is Rotten Tomatoes score, which is binary, is it better than bad or is it worse than good? That is the only thing that it says. It doesn't say, is it a great movie? Is it a horrible movie? Just better than bad or worse than good. Or if it's streaming figures and subscribers, we saw how they all game the system with streaming subscribers, whether or not those subscribers were actually enough to keep your company afloat. Disney. This is the problem when we all start boiling everything down to one number. When in reality, I think the system that we've all figured out as practical people is find somebody that has similar tastes to you that goes to see movies more often than you and ask them what their opinion is.
And has integrity.
Yeah.
Someone that actually has integrity. Says, means what they say and says what they mean. That's what it boils down to. They're absolutely ridiculous, outrageous. I mean, again, we've all been saying it for so long. this, yeah. So funny to see it being stated in the mainstream media now. I mean, Vulture, I guess, kind of that, really. Absolute gold. Absolute gold. But let's shuffle on. We've got 2 super chats here, guys. I will say as well, we've got 642 people tuning into your favorite podcast. Please do hit that thumbs up button. We stream every Tuesday and Thursday. So the live show is on Tuesday at 9 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. UK time on Thursday, respectively. So, yeah, we're always demonetized, though. So if you want to help the show out, you like the show, you like your favorite podcast, chuck in a buck via the super chats. We are literally demonetized right now. And hit that thumbs up button as well. So Jeremiah Hembry for $5 says One Piece live action past Stranger Things and Wednesday in the ratings on Netflix. It is a juggernaut of success now for Netflix. Tom and Culture, did you watch any more of it?
I haven't been able to revisit it yet, but I saw the first episode.
Yesterday it was One Piece or Ahsoka, so it ended up being Ahsoka. So I was overloaded. Yeah, no, I will definitely jump more into it, Jeremiah. I have a little bit of time this weekend, so yeah.
Andre, have you managed to?
Yeah, I've been taking a deep dive because we have a video that is coming up on exactly how this thing is the hit that it is, in light of it being made by the same people who made Cowboy Bebop before, and that was a tremendous flop. So what did they do?
They learned that lesson, evidently.
Exactly. That's actually an upcoming video, a video that I intend to drop the second that we finish this stream, actually. So yeah, I've been on something of a deep dive, and I have to say I'm impressed with what they're doing. Now, is it for me? Not necessarily, but I appreciate what they're doing. I appreciate how they're trying to win over the original or fans of the original source material, which you kind of have to do because that is the recipe for success, isn't it?
Yeah. I hopefully they just don't listen to the bloody critics. Let's put it that way, because critics hate it, fans love it. Get an amazing rating.
I don't know that critics hate it though, because again, if we look at Rotten Tomatoes, it's doing fairly okay. It's like the critic score is like what, in the 80s or something.
There are a lot of critics those claiming it's got a lot of fan service and
top critics. It's in the 60s.
Oh,
yeah. That's the delineation. But Jonas, you need to duck out, don't you, my dear?
Yes, I do. Tom knew. He sent me the link right when y'all were talking about that CNBC article, so he knew. He put the bait out, and I snatched it up. So thank you very much for having me on. Always a pleasure. I'll be on the pro show today in about an hour and a half. If anybody wants to check that out.
Awesome.
See you guys later.
I'll be there too.
Awesome.
I'll be there too.
Yes, that's right,
buddy.
See ya. Bye.
Bye, John.
Yeah, man. So we've got another super chat from Magitech Mags for $5. Says the real question is, will Rotten Tomatoes retroactively rectify those bought reviews of the last 5 years? Bet not. They should, though. So in that article, they do note actually that some of the reviews for those films have been delisted, as in they've delisted the film from the review website entirely, which is pretty major. But that's damage control. I doubt they'll continue to do anything. Let's be honest.
Wow.
If anyone else has any thoughts on that.
They're not going to do anything. I mean, the system is all, because here's like the thing. It's been gamed to the point that it can't be ungamed.
Yeah,
it's not that they can push a button and then they remove like the fake reviews or the bot reviews or something like that. No.
Yeah.
It's fundamentally compromised. Honestly, you should just shut down Rotten Tomatoes, delete everything, and then start something else. The problem is it's sort of susceptible to exactly the same thing. I mean, when you have reviewers who are so broke that they'll accept writing a fake review for as little as $50.
I can't believe that. Fucking so cheap. Everyone's so cheap. What's wrong with you?
I mean, when that is the standard of reviewers, then there is nothing you can do. And that also tells me that their opinions can't be trusted for anything.
$50. Honestly, you might as well just offer McDonald's at this point. I'll give you a bag of McDonald's, mate.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, sure.
Might as well.
So
I mean,
bad.
imagine if you had properly to take them out and properly wine them and stuff. Like, take them out to like a Hollywood after party or something. Imagine what you'd be getting done.
That's so funny. Oh, so funny. Tiger Valley 62 for 14 South African Rand. I got it. Did Rotten Tomatoes corruption also get exposed due to strikes? Thoughts? Is that a situation with the strikes?
Could be. I mean, because that's what I've been positing with this whole Bob Iger and more recently also that we didn't really talk about, but I brought up earlier the Jimmy Fallon one that just come out. So yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if we start getting some more of these, and that would be
What's
part of the
going on
reason.
with him? He's been cancelled, but for what? For being a piece of shit, or
Yeah, he's the new Ellen.
okay. Good. Well, I have absolutely no sympathy.
Oh,
I mean,
none whatsoever.
I'm against cancel culture, but some
No, I find it
are-
hilarious.
But some are more just targets for it than others. Let's just put it that way.
Zuropa became a channel member. Thank you so much. I've seen a few people asking how to become a member of the channel. Guys, you can become a member of the channel. I was actually going to ask Olaf to shoot in a link in the chat to become a member. There's a member link in the description box, so you can click through to that and become a member that way. Sometimes it doesn't work on whatever sort of device you're on, but yeah, 9 times out of 10, it's pretty good to go. You can just click a link. I'm sure Olaf will probably get on it as well and send in a member link to join up as a member of the channel, or you can become a patron. There's many ways to support the channel, but thank you so much for becoming a member, Zuropa. Magitech Mags for $2 says, I definitely enjoyed the Netflix One Piece live action. I'm so glad so many people enjoyed it. It's bloody good.
Yeah.
I was thinking as well, guys, because I'm bringing lore videos back. If you didn't know, I've been doing some of them, even though YouTube's not telling anyone. Son of a bitch. I might do some on One Piece just for a bit of fun. Like, what's the devil fruit? Explained. I think that might be good fun. I don't know if anyone would be keen on that. Let me know in the chat right now. Ask and ye shall receive.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll see if I can,
So 1 million weebs can correct you.
Yeah.
No, mate. My lore videos are fucking on it. No one can correct me on my lore videos.
I
They
don't know.
try,
Have you
They-
messed with
no.
weebs yet, though?
mate. I'm the king weeb.
Here
Okay.
come
I'm
the
absolutely
weeds
not.
again.
Oh,
All
dear,
right.
dear. Right. Well, anyway, ladies and gents, let's move on to our next topic, which is a funny one.
And I wanted Nick to be here for
I
that.
know. Oh, it's such a shame. Such a shame. So what is this? Well, this is Warner Brothers Television Group suspending all of their first look deals. Mindy Kaling, boom, cancelled. J.J. Abrams, boom, cancelled. Bad Robot, boom, cancelled. This is great news. Now, this is suspension of their first look deals. Are they going to re-up them or reconvene them after the strikes? Because this is what it is. It's all to do with the strikes, but it's fascinating stuff. What do we think, guys?
Go ahead.
These guys were just force majeured out the fucking door.
Yep, that's exactly that.
Bye,
is the
Mindy. Bye, Bad Robot. Bye, Problems. We might still get season 2 of Velma just because I think they actually made 2 seasons together. But yeah, you can pretty much cancel that shit now. Ta-Nehisi Coates, gone. That whole thing, not happening. This is the signal that this is done. They're done wasting their money on these folks. Chuck Lorre is the one that surprises the piss out of me, though.
Lori, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Is it just because of his last few shows have tanked or what?
Yes, yeah, I mean, he's gotten a bad rep. I mean, yeah,
and Greg Berlanti, Superman and Lois is one of the few things still going, but
but that's the only thing that he has to hang his hat on. And again, I mean, this is exactly the definition of force majeure, a suspension to cancellation. This is just the process. You go boom, boom, bye. That's what's going to happen.
Well, they say this about laws anyway. Apparently, that was quietly suspended in May.
Does that surprise? That also doesn't surprise me.
Oh, this is amazing. So everyone's declined to comment as well. They're like, no, sorry, we're not.
I mean, this is the good side of the strike, and this is one of the things that makes me wonder if the heads of the WGA really are like plants working for the studios, and because now you get all of these opportunities to get rid of to force majeure out people that the fans and the audience certainly doesn't want.
We're done.
And I'm guessing increasingly a studio doesn't want either. Now, can you soon force majeure Alex Kurtzman out? Then I'd be happy. I mean, the Trek fan in me, I'm like, okay, fine, we get rid of this. That's all good and well, but can we get rid of Kurtzman now, please?
God, wouldn't that be the thing? Wouldn't that be the thing? Now, the funny stuff about this is, so, I mean, they were huge deals as well. The monetary value of these deals were massive. They weren't small. I mean, I remember the J.J. Abrams one was that was like $200 million, wasn't it? If I remember rightly, it was a big bloody deal.
It was originally $500 million, and then it got cut down to we heard half and half, and that was the last we had heard. And they were still struggling then. And at that point, they were allowed to take that Batman show out to shop around with whatever it was the other show they had. And that was the last we had heard about any association with Warner Brothers. In fact, we had heard at that point he was booted because we had heard the same kind of mantra over and over again. And I think that actually was in some article, wasn't it, Andre, where we finally heard it. So we're like, holy shit. Because that's what we kept hearing, was that basically they figured out that the only people making any money out of these J.J. Abrams Bad Robot deals was J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. Everyone else was basically just funding him.
I mean, it's like the ultimate con man of Hollywood, J.J. Abrams.
Oh, yeah.
Same as Mindy Kaling as well. I mean, God, fucking.
She is the
How
most
is she
untalented
famous?
person. Yeah.
How on earth is she famous?
She's famous for being famous. She's the actor version of the Kardashians.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
I am surprised by the Berlanti situation, just because he was quite prolific but cheap. You know, prolific and cheap. And
yes, but
they need cheap.
Well,
they need content.
But they need good content. But they need good content cheap. He's not delivering that. And seriously, he can definitely give you garbage CW quality or old CW quality, but nobody wants that.
I will defend Superman and Lois. I'll defend Superman and Lois. That's not bad.
Well, there was a halfway decent writing team to start the show.
Yeah. Well, and they also resisted all the urge to put racial nonsense into it as well.
Well, yeah, they didn't. I mean, there's still a little woke in it, but it's not as much woke. I mean, anytime you have very little woke coming out of Berlanti, you're like, how did that possibly happen?
Yeah. Was he high during this? What's going on? Well, what's the over and under chances of them sticking this out and getting rid of them permanently?
There's no upside to keep any of these guys.
Yeah, well, this is Hollywood, buddy. Come on.
Yes, except Hollywood has no money.
No, I know, but all right. So you're
now, that's never stopped them from making shit decisions before.
Well, no, but it's
spoken.
But Henri, they are at existential levels of we need money now.
Yeah, but do they know that?
They do know that.
Yeah, because you have like different levels and different things. Because I think that many of these people who are running this, they are so out of touch that they don't understand what's wrong. They haven't figured it out. That we need to get rid of this person, because I think that many of them genuinely think that, let's for instance use Alex Kurtzman. I'm sure there's some people on CBS who thinks this is as good as it's going to get for Star Trek, and if we get rid of Kurtzman, the whole thing is going to collapse.
Yeah, true.
And there actually is people that feel that way.
Yeah, I'm worried that you don't have enough people with enough common sense that realize that they are at existential threat. Because really, anyway, I swear this, like, I could go into the job of most of these studio executives tomorrow and do a better job than them. And I think so could most of this panel, or all of this panel could. Because so many people who are working at the highest levels in Hollywood only got the job because of their daddies. If left to their own devices, they couldn't do any better than flipping burgers. And even that they would think is difficult because they actually have to work.
They'd fail at that too.
That is the kind of people we are dealing with here. These generally are some of the most incompetent people in business anywhere, which is why I say, culture, you are of course right. They are at existential level. And any company where people were hired by merit would know this and know what to do. We're dealing with Hollywood. So many people got into the positions where they are because of nepotism, not because of any kind of merit. That I don't know that there's enough of them that actually recognize the situation and what to do. Some, obviously, but I don't know that it's enough.
I think no, I'm with you, Andre. Some of the older veterans, though, definitely know that they're in big trouble. And
oh yeah, for sure.
The biggest problem is, and the reason why you and I and Nate and Tom could fix these companies really rather quickly is we'd actually read scripts, because that's what's happening. A lot of the stuff that got greenlit early that was all full of this woke stuff is it was read by readers, not by the executives that were.
You're missing one important step.
Okay.
And that's where I come into the play at first, because I'm really good at telling people to get the fuck out.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because we'd have to very much clean out the offices. We'd be like, what do you do here? Okay, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I've
said it before. Begin with firing everyone. Have everyone reapply for their jobs. And then you assess, okay, what exactly is it that you do here?
Yeah.
And
it would be the scene in Office Space, basically.
And justify why you should continue doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them won't do anything. Again, it's exactly the same thing that happened with Twitter. So Elon Musk took over. It was like half these people don't do anything at all. No.
That's why I said it would be like the scene in Office Space. I'm sure you've seen it, where he's like, I'm a people person. I know people. And he's like, so you don't actually take the orders from the people? No, I have a secretary that does that. Well, so do you take the orders to like the manufacturers? No, I have copy boys who do that. And he's like, so what is it you actually do here? You know, that's really what it's like. It's like, we're going to find out that all these people don't actually do anything, you know, and Zaslav is at that point too. And I know, because he said it, he's like, I hope these fuckers are ready to get back to work when this strike's over, because I'm ready to get back to work. Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's a old school businessman, isn't it? That's why.
He was the one that's decreed that they had to come back to work in the offices, and they all lost their freaking minds.
Yeah. So, you can't sit on your ass all day at home. Oh, dudums. Fucking idiot.
I mean, these guys literally live in the lap of luxury as far as jobs go. Sure, it's high stress, but what do you do all day? Make phone calls and run errands.
Yeah, you setting up a meeting about the next meeting.
Exactly.
I can answer that. They have to be politicians. That's one thing that they are good at.
Well, that's the CEOs and the other peoples and the producers, but yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to get to that level, you also have to be something of a politician. You have to grease the right people in order to be able to get to that position where you can do that in the first place.
Well, you know what position they want you in with Greece. Hello.
Yeah. Oh, well, on that note, let's shuffle on to some super chats, because that's the reason why we get demonetized. Tiger
I've
Valley.
been good today.
I know.
I have said a lot of F words, though.
14 South African Rand says, also, One Piece was shot in my country, by the way.
Oh, wow.
I did not know that, because I did wonder.
You know, the beauty of One Piece, though, is I can't tell what country it's shot in.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks so of its own world that, you know, that works for it, so...
Yeah, really, really good. Instant Messenger Sama for €5 says, good news. Now Bad Robot won't be able to hurt the Silent Hill franchise anymore. That is, you're right. But
were they hurting Silent Hill? What were they?
They were developing a game. They were developing like a. You have to look in. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to be quoted on it. But yeah, they were developing stuff. Yeah. So hopefully that means that that's done now, and they won't pick it up. And they won't finish it. So
that's good.
Anyway, let's shuffle on to our next topic, which I know you're going to love, Tom.
You bastard.
So
dead.
just real
dead.
Just real quick, like this comes to us from WDW Pro, and the rumor is just a quick rumor. Netflix believes Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon is a Star Wars killer. I did a video on this earlier today, and I was like, look, they're definitely setting it up to be a Star Wars killer, like whether they believe it or not. The sort of idea is there. That's what they want it to be. That it's their first foray into a game. They've never done that before. Super bizarre and weird to see. They made 2 films of this straight away. It's one film split into 2, but they're like, yeah, happy. I'll give you all the money in the world, Zack Snyder, please. I mean, that's another person with a first look deal, basically. But I don't think it will become a Star Wars killer because I think people are done with Star Wars, and I don't think any amount of cheap imitation, knockoff brand Star Wars, whether it's R-rated or not, will bring people back in. Personally, I think it's could have been a smart move 10 years ago. Now, I think people are done anyway. But that's my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts, guys.
I think it's a brilliant marketing move. Whether it can or not, you now plant it into the minds of the audience that this thing right here can take down Star Wars. So you make people equate, okay, here's this thing from Zack Snyder, Star Wars, Zack Snyder, Star Wars, Zack Snyder. You hammer in the brand identity. At that point, it doesn't really matter if it takes down Star Wars or not. Because it really, for Netflix, it doesn't matter what happens to Star Wars. What matters to them is to get as many views as possible on what they have invested in, so that it gets all the sequels it can. And this, of course, this is this is kind of like Barbenheimer 2.0. This is that kind of stunt marketing, right? It's not really this thing is going to take down Star Wars. No, this is a marketing ploy to make you see it. And I gotta hand it to them. A good ploy it is.
Come on, Tom. Can't wait to hear your rant about this.
I'm just glad to see that it's going to probably start pulling the Snyder Bros away from Warner and me. And
you.
Yeah, because I don't give a shit about Star Wars already, so what do I care? I'm way past all that. They'll be in my rear view mirror then. You know what I mean? Like it's like you got zombies chasing you, and all of a sudden they get distracted by some fat dude who falls over behind you. You just keep going, and then now they're in your rear view mirror at that point. Because I mean, is this thing going to be okay? It might be. Will I watch it? Probably not, because I don't have 8 hours to spend watching Zack Snyder stroke himself. Because I mean, is it going to be any good? It could be, but I also look at it as he's been boasting about how, it has a very important non-binary character, and we know that it's all about a girl who's the secret key to everything already. And if Kathleen Kennedy turned this down, then how bad is it? Because it hits all the right notes for her. So something didn't sit right with her. So that's like, okay, how bad is it? But either way, we know it's going to be slow. We know it's going to be boring. I heard from somebody who actually has seen bits and pieces of the movie that were close to the special effects side of things, let's say. And they said that that's pretty much what it is. It's just tedious and boring Snyder bullshit. The Snyder fans are going to come all over it.
Indeed.
Yeah, I can believe that.
And let me just say this very quickly. The thing that Star Wars obviously needed, according to Zack Snyder, was sex. So they had an intimacy.
Bring that in the Acolyte, though.
No. This is rated R, fun Hollywood sex with an intimacy coordinator and everything. So yeah, sexy time Rebel Moon, kids, part 1.
Yeah, but so had the Acolyte, didn't it?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, the Acolyte's got an intimacy coordinator as well, apparently. So
yeah, that's what
I think there's a difference between Disney Plus intimacy and Netflix,
true
intimacy. But fair enough. Like I said, this is very interesting. I anticipate that Tom's right. We will be bored to tears. They'll manage to make the sex boring too. Ultimately it's not a Star Wars killer. It's a libido.
Don't forget dour. It's going to be very dour.
You stepped on my joke.
I am so sorry. I didn't know you were setting up a joke.
Well, I'm sure that when it comes, you'll think of plenty others.
Oh, I'm sure.
I really do feel bad now.
Yeah. And it's fine. Nobody's gonna come. I mean, nobody's gonna. I mean, when this comes out, something's wrong there. I got to find a way back. I'm
sure that Emma Stone thing is going to take all of that attention away.
Oh, I think so. Look, can see Zack Snyder is going to put like sex in slow motion too. Then be like,
oh no,
yeah.
Slow motion G shot with the Snyder like color grading on it. It look grey. Like he's got like some health issues.
People are going to be like, this can't come soon enough.
Oh god. Fuck these jokes, honestly.
I'm sorry.
Terrible. Let's move on.
We had a
Horseradish Power for £2 says, my job today had 39-degree heat. Hollywood can F off. And again, for £2 says, Bad Robot is interactive SH Online series for Konami. There you go. That's it. That's the thing, Andre. It was an interactive Silent Hill online series for Konami. That's what they were doing.
Oh, okay.
So they'll still be on that, actually.
I think that I will never, ever watch, and that's not going to have any kind of repercussions whatsoever. So you might as well never have bothered, because it's not going to do any damage. It's just going to make the money come out and be forgotten. That sound about right?
Yeah, probably. I've got to just say a special thanks to Darren Hughes, who has gifted 10 memberships on the channel. Thank you so much, my dude. So yeah, you can become a member, and apparently you can also gift other members as well. So thank you so much. Do appreciate that. If you want to keep the lights on, super chats are the way to do it. Support your favorite channel. Hit that thumbs up button as well. But now I want to get on to something a little bit more fun, a little bit more light-hearted. Our next topic is Godzilla base. So there's a few things to go through here. This was a little bit old, but we haven't talked about it here. Monarch Legacy of Monsters. This is the Apple TV Plus series. Will include new and returning Titans. That sounds amazing. There is an updated plot synopsis as well. But on the topic of new and returning Titans, what do we think? Culture Casino.
Wow. Okay. I think I'm interested in this because I'm always interested in kaiju movies, and I would like to see returning Titans. I would like to see all kinds of amazing stuff. I want it to be a kaiju fest. That's what I want. Bring me more big monster things, please.
Did you like the original kaiju that they made? Because I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah,
the whole mythos surrounding them and stuff, like taking it from myth and legend and elaborating on it to be that basically most myth and legends stem from these gigantic creatures that used to, super species that walk the earth. I thought that was amazing.
I look, for me, and I think Tom was probably the same thought process. I can't get enough of these, and if you can add a different layer or some more depth to it, or if you can try to flesh out some things so that we understand why these things exist and why they aren't always around us or with us and stuff, I think you're just constantly adding to that mythos. I think that's great. I think that's the way you want to build this kind of thing, because I mean, it really exists in a sci-fi fantasy world that we don't get to engage with as much as I think a lot of us would like. I mean, a lot of us grew up watching these things on black and white television sets, and going, oh, that looks amazing, and those were just big rubber monster suits, right? I just, now that we can do what we can do, I mean, give me more depth, give me that kind of stuff, and then give me less people. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
No, you're right. Tom, go to you next, buddy.
I don't know if I have to say much more than that.
You like the
I'm looking forward to it. I'll take me some Godzilla. As far as the new original kaiju, I didn't hate them, but I also felt like you literally have a stable of famous monsters here.
But not ones they can use without paying.
I know, but I don't give a crap. We're living in a world where the Avengers is a big deal. I should be able to. Honestly, in the first movie, that's kind of my only gripe, is that there shouldn't have been any other kaiju. It should have just been Godzilla, which is why I think I'm going to like -1 so much. Because your first movie out, Godzilla is your problem, right? Then from there on out, then you have a bigger problem show up, and Godzilla has to defend Earth. That makes more sense. That's the way they should have went. Because then from there on out, because that's kind of how they always did go. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good.
Andre, my man.
I don't care.
Whatever.
No, because
Do you honestly don't care?
Yeah, I honestly, I don't care. I don't like the Godzilla MonsterVerse. I don't like it at all. I didn't grow up with kaiju movies. They mean nothing to me. I did not like Legendary's Godzilla. I did not like Legendary's Kong Skull Island, though that is my favorite of that entire franchise. And I certainly did not like Kong versus Godzilla. The only movies of that kind that I actually genuinely like are the original King Kong movies, like the original plus the 2 remakes of it. All of those have their moments, although I like them less and less with each passing installation, meaning I prefer the 1933 to the 1976 or whatever, and I prefer the 1976 to the Peter Jackson remake. And I can't praise Shin Godzilla enough. Shin Godzilla is amazing. That is the one kaiju movie that I just genuinely love and think is an amazing movie. It's that one. And I look forward to Godzilla -1 or whatever it is. That one does look good. But this Legendary MonsterVerse, I don't like it. It does nothing for me. And here now we have like a spin-off TV series featuring the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of that universe. Why would I care?
Well, lots of people care, and they care.
Yeah, I know, and I don't
on
want
that
to. And I hope it'll be good for you guys.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but that doesn't mean that I want you guys to like it. But
I'll stop you there.
I don't see how I can.
Yeah, let me just interject then. So here's the new poster. There's more to uncover. Broken rubble.
Wow.
Very cool sign saying designated shelter, kaiju. It's Godzilla there, people running away. From someone that doesn't like anything to do with kaiju movies, what do you think of this? Because this is, as an image, I think it's very, very nicely done. Just as an image, a creative image. What do you think of this, at least?
Oh no, I like the image as a creative image.
There we go, everyone. We've got some positive stuff out of
yeah. I mean, that could have been in Shin Godzilla, so I like that.
Yeah,
and you know what? If this tonally is more like Shin Godzilla, because it's the tone. There's something about the tone in that Legendary MonsterVerse that just doesn't sit right with me.
I love the first one does massively.
Yeah,
it's really serious.
So, yeah.
But I kept Bryan Cranston in there for long.
But oh my God, that's like one of the worst surprises I've ever gotten in a film. I was looking forward to being with Bryan Cranston, having him take us through this adventure. Actually, that was the point when that movie lost me, was when he died, and we followed his son, the piece of wood. I forget his name.
Well, let's Culture. What do you think to this poster then? Is this?
I love the poster. I love the poster, and what I'm hearing from Andre is he just wants an appearance of Godzuki in some kind of a monster.
Who's Godzuki?
Oh my gosh!
Never mind. Tom, what do you think of this poster? Tom's dead, everyone.
I can't read it, but I like it.
It says designated shelter.
Well, the one part is cool, but I can't read the other part. It's in like Japanese.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is.
So we know it's a 10-episode series. That's cool. And there was an updated synopsis which says that this Kate person is actually going to be the daughter of Serizawa, Ken Watanabe's character, basically. So I think that's interesting. So it'll focus on Kate, who survives the San Francisco showdown, travels to Japan to find her missing father, and it's there she learns of a shocking betrayal, and Kate must team up with her half-brother and an American hacker to discover her family's ties with a mysterious organization known as Monarch. So either her mother is the half, I don't know where the half-brother comes from, it's obviously going to be the, I don't know. But because it's got Ren Watanabe in it, and he played. I'm pretty certain he did. He played Ken Watanabe's
son or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would imply that Kate is.
Well, it's supposed to be set around the events of 2014 Godzilla. So
just after. I think this.
And plus flashbacks. Remember, there's supposed to be the simultaneous thing going on with Kurt Russell and his son playing the same role.
Yeah, massively. But there you go. I thought that was some good news. Anyway,
the Kurt Russell thing is enough alone to have me interested in it.
Yeah, massively.
So, like, either way you want to look at it, the other's an icing on the cake at this point for me.
Yeah. Well, we got some terrible news. I think I don't like this news anyway, quite frankly. But we'll move on to it regardless. Yeah, let's just waste another director on a pointless film where he's not going to be able to do anything that he wants, and it's going to be written by dipshits.
Well,
Kevin Feige wanted more fucking Rick and Morty writers prior to the strikes. This is dog shit regardless.
This is exactly what Feige said he was going to do. Remember a few months ago when he said they were going to get more established directors?
Yeah, but who cares when it's written by idiots?
I get you. I agree.
We don't know who's threatening it, though, because we did get that report that they had ditched the Rick and Morty writers.
That's why I'm not surprised to hear this now, yeah.
No, but the person steering the ship, Kevin Feige, prior to the strikes, wanted even more Rick and Morty writers to be hired.
Yeah.
That was only 3 months ago.
And
after Ant-Man and the Wasp flops, everything.
And since then, he has reportedly gotten rid of the main two, namely Michael Waldron and Stephen Loveness, or whatever his name was called.
Jeff Loveness.
Jeff Loveness, yeah, that dude. And I'll take the rumors that they have been fired over the older rumors that he wanted more Rick and Morty writers. I think that there must have been some kind of reality check.
Wasn't 3 months ago about the time Victoria Alonso was fired too?
Yes, that would have been about that time.
Yeah. Right. Well, what do we think of Sam Raimi on board? I don't. Doctor Strange 2 was wank. It was shit. It wasn't a very good film.
True, but he didn't write that film. But
he's not going to be writing Secret Wars either, is he? So why is this going to make you confident? Do you know what I mean?
Because it depends entirely on who they have writing it. Because Doctor Strange, that failed because it was written by Michael Waldron, and Michael Waldron is a hack, and it was overseen by Victoria Alonso. Between those two, it had no chance. Now Victoria Alonso is gone. She has left the building.
She's gone.
Most of the problems with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness were actually Victoria Alonso problems, which were made worse by Michael Waldron. Now, both of them are gone. That means that at least there's a chance that with the right writer, if he gets like the right directions for where they're going, this is something that could be decent. Now, I don't think that Secret Wars necessarily is the right way to go here, but there's been a cleanup behind the scenes, and that leaves me. I'm not going to say that I'm more optimistic, but I'm going to say that the reason to write this off, just completely write it off in this moment, that reason is no longer present.
Yeah. But Kevin Feige's still in charge.
He is still in charge, but I think that but he's always been surrounded by a team, and how good the end product has always been determined by the quality of the team around him. When he was surrounded by James Gunn and by Ike Perlmutter, he did really, really good. When he got rid of Ike Perlmutter and James Gunn was removed for him, so he was left with Victoria Alonso, and he had to get in a bunch of Rick and Morty guys to replace James Gunn. And he didn't have Ike Perlmutter there to keep him in check. That's when it all went to hell. Now, the order has been that, okay, the previous order that we're just going to drown everyone in content, that's now countermanded. Now it's all about quality, meaning he has less money to deal with. That functionally is the same thing that that Ike Perlmutter wanted to do. Now you have the spirit of Perlmutter, not there in person, but kind of like by accident. The spirit of Perlmutter is there because now suddenly there's going to be some kind of limitations to their budgets. He also doesn't have the people that really contributed to making him the worst he possibly could be, namely Victoria Alonso. So then the question is, who is going to take over her? He's obviously never going to get someone that could be a checks and balances person like Ike Perlmutter. So all we have to go with there is the limitations of budget. But if he's able to find someone who is more competent than Victoria Alonso, and they know that they fucked up phases 4 and 5, they cannot continue down that path. That means that at least the potential that this could be good is there. I'm not saying it's going to be, but I'm saying I'm not going to write it off right away. I mean, if Victoria Alonso had been there still, if Michael Waldron had been there to write this, I would have written this movie off instantly. In fact, I had written it off before.
Yeah.
Now, because of the changes behind the scenes, I'm not going to say I won't write it off, but I will wait until we have more information on the team that will be making this before I write it off. And I
we
need to get Culture because he's going to have to leave in a minute. So I want you before he leaves, real quick.
Look, I want to see this as good news, but based on the track record of everything recently, I'm with Andre. There isn't a good news here. The only good news is we're not getting more Rick and Morty writers, but that's still.
Andre was optimistic. What do you mean?
I don't know. It sounds like he was pretty. I don't know. Raimi already showed me he's not able to stand up to Disney and their desires to make crappy films. So, I mean, he doesn't have a great track record going.
If he was, he would have been fired.
Okay, and then go on to direct elsewhere. I mean, it's not like he's not a commodity that other people would have hired. You know, and again,
not like he needs the money either. In fairness, let's be honest.
No, he doesn't. And so, look, I'm looking at it.
I think there's another motive involved for Raimi, though, and that's what I was going to bring up. But finish Culture. I'll get to mine after yours.
Oh no, I thought
unless you really want to hear it first.
I did, yeah. That's why I showed.
I posited something to Andre early on, and this was before we heard any fucking thing about Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
And they had said that he was going to be in there and all that shit. And it's like, wait a minute, are they leading up to something with multiverse Spider-Man, and they're going to have Raimi direct the next Spider-Man movie? Well, lo and behold, obviously he didn't, and he won't yet. But you never know; he might be involved in the next one, and Spider-Man's going to be in this one. And there's been a lot of rumors about Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he might be just playing ball and doing some favors or working his way back to where he wanted to go in the first place. I don't know. Maybe not. At the same time, Raimi's at that point in his career where maybe he's cashing out.
I think it's the latter.
And I think that's where Culture's coming from. And I guess that was where I was setting him back up to pick back up. But yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, this is all kinds of bad. And I have no expectation for it whatsoever. So, but that's my time, folks. I got to run. Thank you for having me, and check out all these amazing gentlemen because they're phenomenal.
And your channel. Check out your channel.
I'll do that too. I'm out of here. Love you guys. Bye.
See you, buddy. Yeah, I don't see it as very good news, quite frankly, the Sam Raimi thing. But hey, we'll wait and see. If there's a writer on board that's actually good, well, that'll be a massive surprise anyway, quite frankly, because they haven't had good writers for a while. So if they miraculously get a good writer, then yeah, that's them changing tactic completely. But that's the telltale. Just Sam Raimi doesn't matter.
I can't argue on one point because like directors, they go two ways when they get older. They either become more rigid and set in their ways, or they become more flexible. Raimi has become the latter, it seems. So I can't say you're wrong, and I can't argue too much more than that. But then again, I could see him wanting to get back into the Spider-Man game somehow, some way. But yeah,
maybe. Yeah, I can see that. Andre, do you want to jump in on there as well?
I think that Raimi still has a few great movies left in him, but not if he is restricted by the likes of Victoria Alonso or Kevin Feige working with the wrong people. And that is why I'm not going to rule this out completely. But the problem is that he is an auteur director. And is there room for his vision to really work within the rigid requirements of the MCU? Of that, I am not so sure. I'd rather him go and do something completely different, make like another Evil Dead or some zombie thing or something like that, some no budget thing, where he can just be completely in charge of everything without having to worry about the fact that this is something that has to bring in $1 billion at the box office. I would rather see him do that now towards the end of the grid. There's plenty directors who could do an Avengers movie. He's absolutely among them. But he is someone that can make something that probably is going to stand the test of time better. So rather the Avengers to someone else who will do just fine with that. But who the world of cinema will not be losing out on something else because they're busy with the Avengers.
Yeah. I agree with that. Just real quick, Olaf Vanis has gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, my dude. Fantastic mod here on the channel. There you go. Great dude. You'd see him wrenching in the chat. So massive props to Olaf. Larry's been a member for 5 months. Thank you so much, my dude. Tommy Reviews sent in $2. Says Godzilla 2 King of the Monsters was a love letter to the series. Yeah, Michael Doty.
Even more so, I'd say Godzilla versus Kong. But yeah, no, I totally agreed with that.
Yeah, I think Michael Doty did a really good job with that. To be fair,
my main gripe and problem with Godzilla versus Kong is that stupid mom in that movie. If they'd taken her out, it'd been perfect. Like her whole thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hemorrhoid Hurts for $2.99 Australian dollar reduce says it's true. My wife Susan is super hot. Are we talking about someone called
Good
Susan?
for you.
I can't remember. Yeah, okay.
Is that Mama Susan? Does that make you our daddy?
Right, moving on. Israel R for $5 says I agree with Tom. Godzilla should have no other kaiju but him, the only terror. We'll see.
At least in the first film, like that's kind of the baseline.
There's rumors that Godzilla -1 he won't be the only Titan. That's the thing.
I know that's the other thing we were talking about the other day. So I'm curious if that's going to be, or if they're going to do because that's the thing is most people, unless you actually watch the movies and pay attention, after the first Godzilla movie, that's technically Godzilla's offspring. That's not the original Godzilla. So the quote unquote son of Godzilla is actually the grandson of Godzilla. Because that's the thing in the second movie, it's a totally different Godzilla they find. And then that's the one that gets reawakened and to fight King Kong and down the line after that. So, yeah. So, I mean, they could do something like that where you have a original one that gets, because you pointed out like the oxygen weapon.
Yeah.
So maybe maybe they'll kind of rework the story for Godzilla and Godzilla Returns or whatever it's titled anymore, the second film. You never know.
Yeah, you're right. I'd be interested to see anyway. Instant Messenger Sama for €5 says Marvel should curb stomp Avengers and give us the long overdue Sentry movie. Sentry's too OP to write into a movie, I think. But I don't know. Anyone know anything about the Sentry?
Well, basically, the Sentry, he's like Marvel's Superman, isn't he? Just blonde.
But forgotten. Memory wiped and stuff like this.
Yeah, I don't know the details. You know what? I don't think any good can come of it because you put him on the big screen, he is such an obvious Superman ripoff. I mean, if there ever was a character that is better fit for Disney Plus, it's a Sentry. He's someone that you place there. as a side character in some other story or something. That's where you put their Superman, and you give him the similar treatment to what's his face in The Boys.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Yeah, Homelander. Yeah,
I mean,
you're
that's
not
how
wrong.
you do that. You don't do a movie on the Sentry. That's bad priority of resources.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong there at all. Well, ladies and gents, real quick, Tom, what's going on in your world? Promote some stuff. Let's go.
Well, I got Midnight's Edge After Dark coming up here in roughly 2.5 hours, give or take.
Very nice.
Other than that, I'll probably be on the Comics Division show later, and then we got the morning show tomorrow.
Excellent. Andre, show some stuff, bro.
Yeah, we obviously have the interview with Graham Hancock that you need to check out, but also we dropped a video right now, 10 seconds ago, on One Piece and exactly how that escaped going the path of Cowboy Bebop. They obviously learned the lessons, but how did that happen, and which lessons were they? Well, we break it down in the video we published right now in this moment. I would have put it in the public chat, but I can't do it from my dashboard right here. So I'm going to put that in the private chat behind the scenes. If someone wants to grab that and put it on screen, then that would be cool.
I think Olaf can do that. I think.
Yeah. So if you can help us out, if you can all just go and check out that video, which just dropped right now in the second, that would be awesome. And of course, then it's Midnight's Edge After Dark and Midnight's Edge in the morning. And needless to say, I'm working on a video on this massive news drop with Iger.
Yeah,
so,
we covered that a little earlier before you got here. I think it was. But
So
on the One Piece deal, watch the video, guys. It'll give us motivation to do an anime channel. That's the kind of stuff that's going to make us take notice.
Well, ladies and gents, as well, for what's happening in my world, well, I am returning to lore videos. I've been doing them periodically. I did 2 on Sunday. Did 1 today, which I have just now posted in the chat, but barely anyone watched it, annoyingly. So please do check that out. It's in the world of Godzilla. You will find, unlikely to find, any more comprehensive breakdown and lore videos, and definitely not one with such a sultry voice on there. So please do check them out. Please do come back to the community tab to check out where I post videos as well, because YouTube chooses not to notify you anymore. But on the topic of One Piece, of course, Andre's done his video. If you want to see me do any lore on One Piece, I'm happy to do that. I think that'd be really good fun. They don't have to be super long-winded, but, you know, I just think it'd be a good laugh. I really enjoyed One Piece as an anime. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a manga reader, but I really enjoyed the anime side of it. So I'm happy to do some lore videos on One Piece if you guys would like it. I think so. And a few people said so in the chat as well. But from me and everyone else, that concludes our your favorite podcast for this week. I will be seeing you guys on Sunday for a chill stream. But for me and everyone else, thank you so much. We'll catch you on Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye now.